Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast coming to you from beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. I am your host, William Hildebrand, joined by the incomparable Doc Jacobson. And before we get things going, want to give a shout out to Rosati's in Buckhead. Over 100 beers on draft, over 40 big screen TVs, the best wings in Atlanta, the best pizza in Atlanta, the coldest beer in Atlanta. Doc knows the importance of the coldest beer, although Doc will drink a beer at reasonably any temperature. But when he wants the coldest ones, he goes out to Rosati's. Support the people who support us. Support Rosati's in Buckhead. Now, Doc, you and I are recording this late on a Wednesday night, and I found myself today, believe it or not, this is Doc and I have other means of employment as well, in addition to Atlanta's largest weekly sports podcast, we think. I got wrapped into message board drama. Just tons of Ole Miss message board drama. It's all over the internet, all over Twitter, all over Saturday Down South, Pro Bible, and this, that, and the other. And it got me thinking about just how easy it is to distract me from work. And message boards usually aren't my thing to get terribly distracted. You know, I'll peruse it during the lunch hour. Hey, who's injured? Who's misspelling things? You know, I'll get into it a little bit. But I do want to give a shout. There's a tremendous Twitter account that follows just all the message board, and the name's escaping me right now. Doc, help me out on this. Message board geniuses. Go give a follow to message board geniuses. They're a lot of fun there, but the biggest thing that distracts me is Wikipedia jump. Am I alone in that? Are you a Wikipedia jumper?
That's one of my favorite games to play in college was, what is it? Like you start with Star Wars and get to like Jesus or something, and as little clicks as you can get there is the best. Those are fun. There's some deep holes in Wikipedia you can go down. I mean, all of them. They're unlimited holes.
If you get me on like I'll just be sitting here minding my own business, and then for some reason I'll think of Sean Kemp. You know what? I don't explain my brain. You can't explain my brain. Science can't explain my brain. But I'll just think about Sean Kemp. I'll be like, wait, which draft class was Sean Kemp in? And then I'll go to that and be like, ew, Sam Cassell went to Florida State? Let me look at this Florida State team. And then I'll see like Bob Sura, and I'll just go to his page. And then I'm like, ew, he was traded for Tom Gugliotta? Let's check out Tom Gugliotta's page. And then I'm just like fucked for 2 hours.
That's a great name. Gugliotta. Can't beat that name.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comedic reference. It's just going directly into Gugliotta. What's a good sports name that gets you every time? Like, what's a Benny Agbayani for you?
Oh, Kevin Euclid. I don't know why. I mean, all of him
Euclid
too. Like,
gets you?
Yeah, it gets me. He's got that funky stance. He looks like a duck when he's trying to hit a ball. There's a lot of Euclid footage out there too.
Euclid sounds like a combination between some string instrument and like some anatomical part.
Yeah.
I can't decide what it is, but I think it's a meshing of the two.
It's also a koala bear's favorite food minus the P. Eucalyptus. Yeah. Eucalyptus.
I don't know. What typically distracts you during the workday? Like I know people get into social media and going into what are the Cyclones title odds, you know, typical things people get distracted by. What's your Wikipedia that gets you?
I would have to say it's regional. It's definitely regional. It's by the region I'm in. It's probably by the fast food joints. Like what do you think is the top fast food joint in the state you're in, or the region you're in? You know, Atlanta's got, Georgia's got. What?
That's what you think about during the day?
Well, I'm on the road a lot, and sometimes I got to think about getting lunch. So I mean, that's a big part of the day. Got to get the right lunch order.
But you only go to 3 states.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of disparate. I mean, they got Jackson, Alabama. They got Milo's in Birmingham. Those aren't in Georgia. You know, you get Raising Cane's, you get Whataburger up in Tuscaloosa. You start looking for, you know, Nashville hot chicken up in the Tennessee area. There's a lot of diversity still in these 3 states.
You know what I appreciate about the South is our fat asses have so many exit signs that it just tells you. It says, hey, there's a Sonic here, there's a McDonald's here, there's a Hardee's here. When you're in the Northeast, it is almost devoid of chains. And also, they don't have stops, hey, get off at this exit. I mean, they have some, but it's mostly the rest stops that they have in the middle of the damn median.
Yeah. Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah, it's come here for gas. We have a McDonald's in here. We also
Cinnabon.
have paid games.
Random Cinnabon.
Yeah, and it's weird as shit. There's one in Baltimore, New York with a Quiznos. That was a nice surprise. I'll give you that. Baltimore, New York. Love you. But we absolutely do not have a listener in Baltimore, New York. We probably don't have a listener who knows what Baltimore, New York is. But anyway, it can be frustrating when you're on the road a lot, because when you're on the road, it's like being an old person. Old people, you'll start to notice this. Old people care more about convenience than taste.
Oh, yeah.
Once you get to 60 for everyone, but 50 for some people, it doesn't matter if their favorite restaurant's 30 minutes away, their favorite burger in the world is 30 minutes away. They're going to go to Five Guys 5-10 minutes down the road. Mm-hmm. They just only care about convenience. And when you're driving on the road for long periods of time, that's what you get. Maybe if you're in college, you're just oh, man, I got to hold out for a Qdoba. Oh, there's one an hour and a half here. No problem. But as you get older, you're just thinking, hey, I want to disrupt my day as little as possible. Just let me get food and then get over this and get back to what I was doing. And so when I was in the Northeast driving around, and there would be it'd say on the signs, here's Joe's Deli. And here's Crazy Max fried chicken. I'm I need to know what I'm going to get here. You know, you want to know what you're in store for, because there's nothing worse than if you pull over and you stop at Crazy Max fried chicken and it's just dog shit. And of course it's going to be dog shit because it's in Hartford, Connecticut. But for me, I need to know what I'm getting when I'm on the road. And so that's why I appreciate how fat we are in the South, because if I stop at a Hardee's, is it going to be good? No, of course not. Am I going to feel like I can't breathe afterwards? Undoubtedly. But I know what I'm getting myself into, and that's the cardiologist's office, and I'm fine with that.
Well, I guess I also forgot to mention as well, I rank the fast foods in the areas I'm at in my head as well. A lot of ranking systems going on, ranking hotels, it's a lot of road warrior rankings is what I get into. That's
all right, Doc. Top 3 fast food places. Number 3.
What state?
Tennessee.
That is a good one. I've got to say number 3 in Tennessee.
Doc, you're bad at this radio. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm losing it. Let's go Zaxby's. Zaxby's is in Tennessee.
All right, Zaxby's. Hey!
Yeah,
Zaxby's.
Hey!
What's number 2?
A Chick-fil-A.
All right, hey, what a time to be alive. Number 1.
You know what? They surprisingly got a lot of good ones up in Tennessee. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I don't care. Burger King. Love a good Burger King. Dude, because you can get a spicy chicken sandwich or a Whopper. Or either or.
Burger Kings are like Quiznos at this point. I cannot find an open Burger King.
Yeah. I mean, up in Tennessee, they're everywhere. Every stop, Burger King.
The reason they're closing is because they got rid of Cinnamonies. When they had Cinnamonies on their breakfast menu, they were going to conquer the world. They were number 2 to McDonald's for years and years.
If they get rid of chicken fries, they're going to be the next Blockbuster. They're going to be gone.
So, I once ate 36 chicken fries in one sitting.
That's like eight. It's like 4 or 5 orders. That's good.
I just kept ordering chicken fries, and I haven't had a chicken fry since then. They should have added on to those commercials like what they do at Budweiser of drink in moderation. It should be eat chicken fries in moderation. But in Burger King's defense, I think even the person who came up with the idea for chicken fries. Like, no one's gonna eat 30 plus of these, are they?
No, not possible.
I once ate 81 chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A in one sitting. I say in one sitting. Actually, this part of this story's too graphic. I'll take this off air. But I had 81 chicken nuggets. They had all you can eat chicken nugget night, and I put away 81 of them. I was in high school. Felt horrible. The guy, so we started turning into a competition. Like, people started bowing out at like 40. And then this one guy, Clayton, and I we're going back. Shout out to Clayton. He's like Cher, just the one name. And Clayton and Pele. Clayton, toward the end, we're both struggling. It's slowly going down and about to come back up. Clayton goes, "Hey man, let's just call it a tie. Let's just call it a tie." And I said, "You know what, Clayton? I feel my body shutting down, so fine, we'll call it a tie." Moved on with my life, all right? Went and threw up in the parking lot, moved on. About 3 years ago, I see Clayton, and I tell him, I said, "Hey, man, remember that time that we both ate 81 chicken nuggets?" He goes, "I know, I ate 82. I said, "What are you talking about? You proposed that we just end in a tie." And he goes, "No, ask Ben, co-host Ben, about this." And Ben said, "Yeah, after he did that, you turned your back. He said, 'Watch this,' ate one more." And he never told me that he did that. Why would you do that behind my back and then not tell me like the next day? Why would you hold that for 10 years?
He was waiting. He was waiting for you to bring it back up. To be like, "Oh yeah, remember that time we tied? Took you 10 years to bring it up." He's like, "Nope, I got your ass."
That's the long con. What the shit is that about? Like, that's my uncle one time. We were opening presents, and I opened it was just like a water buffalo's horn in a box, still with like fur on it and everything. And it said like, "To Michael from like Winston." And that was under our tree. The other presents for me were just from my immediate family and like my grandmother's. And then I opened this and it says "from Winston" or whatever. And I just, what the hell is this? Who would just send me a horn? And my family all went along with it. And I found out because they didn't know. They didn't know what was going on. They just had that mailed to them, put that under the tree. I had no idea what the hell that was about. I shit you not. Like 4 or 5 years later, my uncle was like, "Hey, do you still have that water buffalo horn?" What? Oh shit, from like 5 years ago? That was you? He was just like, "Yeah. How about that?"
Gotcha.
You weren't even there to see my reaction and confusion. No one videoed this. So you just did this prank and imagine what it would look like and be like? You had no payoff in it, and then you didn't even seek the payoff till years later?
What do you call Ashton Kutcher and propose and punked?
People. Let's get into it. The Atlanta Braves are moving on to the NLCS thanks to one Freddie hitting the solo dinger in the bottom of the 8th to go ahead the Brewers. So now, as we're recording this, the Braves are waiting on the winner of the Giants and Dodgers series. If it's the Dodgers again, there's going to be Braves fans punching holes throughout the city of Atlanta. But even worse, throughout all of this, so Freddie Freeman is the king of Atlanta. Trae Young's great. Matt Ryan's great. This is a Braves town. Plain and simple. And Freddie Freeman, I honestly could say, more beloved at this point than maybe even Chipper. The thing about Freddie is he's so excellent, and he benefits from the fact that for years and until last year, he has been criminally underrated. People don't talk about Freddie Freeman a lot, even though the Braves are one of baseball's maybe 5 premier franchises, just because they have such a huge regional and national following, along with the Cubs, Red Sox, Yankees, Cardinals. But still, because he's just tucked down here in Atlanta, he doesn't get talked about like if he was up I-95 and one of those guys. And so people in Atlanta feel just like they have to defend Freddie and have to push Freddie, but also he's the antithesis of a superstar. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a good superstar who knows he's a superstar. Broadway Joe, even though he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, and I will go to my grave with that on my tombstone, it'll say, "Here lies William Hildebrand, died via chicken fries. Joe Namath shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame." That's what my tombstone's going to read. You heard it here, Doc, as also my legal counsel. Please make sure that people follow through on this. But I love the fur coat that Broadway Joe did and all that. But Freddie's just a nice little kid from Orange County, came from Canadian parents, and just such a sweet guy. And so he's ours.
Yeah.
But it's lingering over that he's a free agent at the end of this year. And the way that the Braves ownership group is structured, they had absolute steals on, I think Acuna's like 12 or 13 million a year, locked up for 8 years. Ozzy Albies, I believe, is locked up for $5 million a year for 5 years or something like that. I mean, the Braves are getting fantastic deals on those two. And so you have to wonder about Freddie. You hate that this cloud is hanging over, because if Freddie leaves, it is going to crush the city. Even if the Braves are fine next year, which losing Freddie would be a colossal dent in the team. But I also think that it'll sort of be like the Cubs, where when the Cubs lost via trade, or leaving in free agency, Lester left and Schwarber left in free agency for small deals with the Nationals. And then, of course, they traded away anyone else with a pulse. That none of the fans were angry with a single player. And I think in this instance, no one would be mad at Freddie, because everyone knows his value. Because everyone in Atlanta has been defending him, of saying, "Oh, you think so-and-so is better? Look at Freddie's numbers." And so if Freddie leaves, there will not be, the King James leaving Cleveland of people throwing things and burning jerseys and all this. People will just be really, really mad at the ownership group. You cannot let Freddie leave. But it's going to be really interesting to see how they play that. I know Freddie's big into being here. I don't know if anyone back home in California would come chasing him with a bunch of no, but it's this Braves team feels different, feels special, because it's no one thought that we'd be here kind of mentality. Last year, Freddie was on an absolute tear. Acuna, absolute tear. You had guys playing really well. The Braves were seemingly out of it in early to midsummer. You're looking at the Phillies, you're looking at the Mets in the division, you're looking at a ton more teams in the NL, but the Braves are going to be one of the last 2 teams standing in the NL. And it's because of that revamped outfit with Jock Peterson and Jorge Soler, who didn't even play in Game 4, and Heredia and a lot of these guys. And the pitching staff looked so good in the NLDS. That's a pretty good hitting team in Milwaukee. And they stymied them through 4 games. And you have to feel good as a Braves fan, because you may say, "Oh, the pitching's not going to continue. The pitching's not going to hold up as well as it did." Okay. But the Braves also didn't hit. And so if you think that things are going to go back to the law of averages, you have to think the Braves are going to start hitting, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct. That was what I thought was, just like you said, phenomenal about that first series was the Braves kind of in a slump, but we're still able to put up runs, have good at-bats, and really take the Brewers into long pitch, high pitch situations where they just really played kind of small ball, I guess would be the way to put it, where they're taking long at-bats and getting pitchers out early. But it worked well for them where they didn't need, that killer home run to set them over the edge. They were just playing the game within the game, which is what I love about baseball.
Just imagine the fact that if the Braves do, in fact, win the pennant and or the series, and doing it without Acuna.
Yeah.
I mean, Acuna, a lot of people have forgotten because so much has happened since he got hurt. Acuna was the runaway MVP until he got hurt.
Yeah.
You don't usually take the runaway MVP from a team and then just still make the NLCS. But here the Braves are, so it's going to be fascinating to see. Truist is going to be rocking. I almost called it SunTrust. Truist is going to be rocking. The battery is going to be rocking. Rosati's is going to be rocking. So if you can't make it out to the game, you know the best place to watch it at. But that'll be fascinating. You know what else you can watch at Rosati's, Doc?
What's that?
College football and NFL football. And you know what you can do with college football and NFL football?
Gamble.
Damn right. You can gamble on it. That's what we're going to do in the little segment we like to call Gamblin Dans. All right. All right. So, Doc, you and I have been slipping up a bit. So, we're going to change up some mojo. You've been going first. I'll go first this time. My first two, I'm going to give you, are in the Lone Star State. Give me the Cowboys -4. The Cowboys are the only team in the NFL that have covered every single game this season. The Cowboys can cover. And listen, they feel so good about themselves that they can just cut Jalen Smith and keep on going. Now, they're going to New England. Of course, you got Bill Belichick, defensive genius. Mac Jones has looked fine. I don't know. I watched Mac Jones, and he throws a good ball, but then I look, and he's throwing it 4 and 5 yards down the field.
Yeah.
But because the Cowboys cover, the Cowboys have looked so explosive, and they've looked good on defense, particularly in the secondary. I'm going Cowboys -4. Stick with what got you here, even though I haven't taken them once this year. And I want to get off the schneid. Next pick, again, staying in the Lone Star State. Give me Texas -5.5. I mean, horns down, but horns up on this one. Oklahoma State, ranked 12th in the country, going to Austin. Texas ranked 25th. So 5.5 points for a team way back in the rankings. Vegas thinks Texas is going to kick the shit out of them. And Texas murdered Oklahoma until they got Spencer Rattler out of the game. And I'm sure when they saw Rattler going out of the game, Sarkisian was like, shit. I thought we had him. If they just left Spencer Rattler. Man, Oklahoma fans were so agitated all year when someone would be like, hey, someone not named Spencer Rattler may win the Heisman. Like, you son of a bitch! How dare you! My brother was a firefighter in Norman, Oklahoma. Okay? Like, okay, all right. Relax. Give me Texas -5.
I like this. I like this. I like those picks. What I'm looking at here, once again, we're staying in the NFL. Staying in the NFL. We gotta right this ship. This ship is about to go down, and I'm the captain. I will go down with this ship. I do not care. I will go down with it. First pick I'm giving you, I think it's easy. It's the Chiefs, -6.5. What can I tell you? Yeah, they look bad against Buffalo. Yeah, it was a rain game. Yeah, they lost at home in Arrowhead. They got to come up. You go down to get back up. Like, what's the golf saying? You got to get down to get up, right? That's what the Chiefs are going to do here. They are just going to explode this game. I see them winning by 1,000,000 points. They're on the road against Washington, but Washington's defense hasn't really done anything this year. They're inconsistent at best. It's a good defense. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're just inconsistent. They're not going to be able to keep this game close. And Kansas City really has a chip on their shoulder now after that blowout against the Bills that they just had. I like Chiefs big here. Pick number 2 that we're going to give you. I'm giving you an underdog. I saw this line, made absolutely no sense. Cardinals at Browns. Cardinals +3. Cardinals are undefeated. Browns, they had a very good game against the Chargers last weekend, scored a lot of points. Who else can score a lot of points? Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. I don't hate it. I love it. It's the opposite of hate. It's the opposite of, a favorite is a dog. You take the dogs. These Cardinals are dogs. They're going to win this game. I like a pick out of the defense. I like Kyler with 3 touchdowns. 1, 2, 3, 3 touchdowns. And I just think, I don't see the Browns keeping up. Their defense is solid, but they're not going to shut down an air raid offense. They can stop the run, but, other than James Conner, the Cardinals haven't really relied on a run game all that much this year. So I really like those 2 picks. Chiefs -6.5, Cardinals +3.
You got to hope Chandler Jones comes back off that COVID list before the game. Coco. All right. So, Doc, are you familiar with dog agility courses?
Yeah, Bull Mastiffs are the best at running them. Duh.
That's just because they run through all the obstacles.
Exactly. They just take the points.
The dogs in those obstacles, sometimes they jump over an obstacle, and then they have to immediately go under an obstacle. I'm going to give you an over and an under. The over I'm going to give you, Ole Miss, Tennessee, over 82. 82 may as well be a zillion points. I know if a game could be 42-38 and you go, oh, what a defensive battle. That's the under hitting. That's how many damn points this is. Ole Miss is going to score 50. Ole Miss is also not going to hold Tennessee to 30-something points. This game will be in the 90s or the hundreds, without a doubt. Give me over 82. It's a zillion points. Ole Miss's offense is so good. Ole Miss's defense is so bad. There's going to be Rocky Top. Smokey's going to be howling. You get the gist. Next pick, staying in the SEC, going right down the road from Knoxville in Athens, Georgia, between the hedges. Number 11, Kentucky. Number 1, Georgia, under 44.5. Georgia, potentially an all-time defense. Kentucky, also a pretty good defense on that side. Georgia, a stable of 3 really good backs. You go to Kentucky, you've got Rodriguez, you've got Cavassier Smoke. Love the name, love the game. I don't think Kentucky keeps this close. I kind of like Kentucky covering, but not enough to take it. But what I think is Kentucky's going to want to slow this game down. They want this to be a drag-em-out game on both sides. I think Kentucky may dictate that a little bit, and I think Georgia's actually going to be fine with that too. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think maybe like a 24-3, something like that, maybe 28-10. I don't know. All I know, not a lot of points. That's good for us. That's good for our wallets. That's good for the under.
I like the over-under analogy, especially if we're relating it to dogs.
Love dogs. Big dog podcast.
Who doesn't love dogs, right?
The Dogcast.
The Dogcast. That's great. All right. Pick number 3 here. A little mile high action. Ooh. Raiders at Denver. I'm tired of the jokes. I'm over the John Gruden jokes. Let's stop talking about John Gruden. He's gone. Want to see Mark Davis as the coach. I know he's not going to be, but man, that would be awesome.
I'm not talking about it. You talking about it?
You talking about it?
I'm not
Twitter's probably talking about it. For all intents and purpose, Raiders are dead. Raiders are dead. Said it 3 times. That's because I'm taking Denver -3.5. They win this game by a touchdown, if not double-digit points. It's Mile High Stadium. Nobody travels well there. They don't have a head coach. Their team is in turmoil. Their coach was saying all sorts of la-ti-da-ti-das. You don't say those la-ti-da-ti-das. This team is falling apart. Derek Carr looked like garbage last weekend against the Browns. Has been falling off a cliff, a la Max Kellerman, thinking that's what Tom Brady was going to do. Raiders are dead. Raiders are dead. Raiders are dead. Take Denver -3.5. Pick number 4. We're going to a little town Al Capone ran for a little bit, ran some rum, ran probably some numbers, probably definitely messed up a White Sox game, or back then the Black Sox, who knows. My chronology might be wrong. I don't know what to tell you. But what I'm telling you here is the Bears are bad. The Bears are not good. Matt Nagy over there is giving Justin Fields and Andy Dalton offense. They're two different people. They're two different skill sets. Well, what are you doing? That offense cannot keep it up. Aaron Rodgers, I know he's got a hurt defense. They got their best three. They can have their whole starting line of defense out of there. I do not see Chicago keeping this game close. Green Bay -4.5 all day, twice on Sunday. You heard it here.
I think you just made Andy Dalton's day if this gets back to him that you said that he has a skill set.
Yeah, it's a Red Rocket. That's his only skill set.
All right. So for me, this pains me for my whammy. But, I won my first whammy last week. Feel good about this one. The Bills have just been kicking the shit out of people. They massacred the Dolphins after losing week 1. They beat the shit out of the Chiefs. They're smacking anyone and everyone around who comes in their way. Now the Titans have been so underwhelming. You thought the Titans were going to be a nightmare with A.J. Brown, the mayor, with Julio Jones, probably a mayor of somewhere else. Derrick Henry. He's like Mad Max, I guess. I don't know what municipality he's in charge of. But that offense has been and the defense has been really Meanwhile, the Bills are horrifying, and it's just 5.5? 5.5 on Monday Night Football. I know weird things happen on Monday Night Football. Really weird things happened on this last Monday Night Football with Colts Ravens. The Colts are bad. I don't know what the Ravens were doing, but I think the Bills will come back to earth at some point. I just don't think it's this week. I don't think it's going to be at Nissan Stadium. In true Nissan form, I think the Bills are going to go rogue. I think they're going to go on to the next frontier. They're going to be their own pathfinders. So give me the Bills. Give me the Nissans. -5.5. I don't feel good morally taking the Bills. That's something I'm going to have to say a couple Hail Marys and then ashes to ashes. But give me Buffalo, I guess.
I like it. I was going to say the Bills are going to transform your money into winnings, but I realized you're going with Nissan cars. So a little different there, but they still could do it. Never know.
Nissan transform.
There you go. Nissan. No, brain got a little switched on the old the old correspondence there.
I didn't know if this was like an Iowa tractor thing. By the way, before you give your whammy, I have to apologize. I don't know if I mentioned this on the Vegas podcast, but Doc, for our listeners, Doc will give so many corn references on this show and off this show, and it usually just falls on deaf ears. And then after I met all these Cyclones and saw all the Cyclone signs at College Game Day, I was like, I'll bet Doc is like the Sinbad of Ames, Iowa. Because people, I didn't realize, I thought it was just a Doc thing with the corn jokes. Iowa people love corn jokes.
Number one crop in the state.
I want to go to an Iowa corn show or a comedy show. Same thing. Because I guarantee I'll be lost as shit. Some guy will be up there and just, so didn't get enough rain this year, did we? And just like everyone's shitting themselves, laughing. I don't get this. It said the only thing I saw that in was the Farmer's Almanac. And then just everyone's dying laughing. It's like, all right, I got to get out of here. Sorry, but just I got to give Doc credit for all of his corn jokes. I am absolutely certain now that they kill in Cedar Rapids.
Well, you know what they say, knee high by July, baby.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's killing in the Midwest right now. I'm sure when that hits their ears, they're like, that Doc, he gets us. We're gonna do like a Pavlov's dog sort of thing one day. We're just gonna be we're just gonna try and get you to say things to just make listeners even more loyal to the show, of just you saying things that Midwesterners love. You're just gonna say buzzwords, just like looking into the camera and into the audio, saying corn, Keno, drinking in basements,
Milk.
milk, whole milk. popcorn in a basket on top of the bar.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
But
The only one that doesn't make any sense to me is how the South doesn't love cheese curds. Fried cheese, it's amazing.
yeah, I mean, you'd think that that'd be kind of up our alley, but we're just not big dairy people down here, I don't think.
Must be
Wait,
am I right?
Are cracklins and like pork rinds, are those big in the Midwest?
Absolutely not. Never even heard of
You
them.
don't love
Nope. Big pork town. Never heard of a pork rind. Anyways, back to whammies. Back to whammies. This one makes the most sense. This line could have been -15. I don't care about it. Rams -9.5 at New York. New York lost their entire starting offense. No quarterback, no running back, no starting wide receiver. You think Mike Glennon's going to go out there with his long neck and go keep this game within a touchdown? You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Aaron Donald's going to rip his neck in two like a giraffe getting eaten by an alligator.
What?
Bam.
Where does a giraffe encounter an alligator?
At the watering hole. Maybe a crocodile. I don't know. Same thing.
Crocodile.
They're both dinosaurs. Who cares?
All right, I'm from Florida, so now you're infringing on my territory, pal.
Oh, okay. That's it. Fair enough. That's like when you call field corn and sweet corn the same thing. You're coming for knuckles, bud.
I still don't know the difference, but if you start talking to me, a guy from Florida, about either reptiles or getting shit-faced in the 7-Eleven parking lot, you've overstepped your boundaries because that's my territory, pal. All right?
Sorry. Not trying to culturally appropriate here. My bad.
Exactly right. You can respect the Floridian culture, just don't try and appropriate. So I said this to Doc earlier, and I don't know how to feel about this, but we should have brought it up earlier as we were talking fast. We were going to close the show with this. Wendy's is now doing something called the Hot and Crispy Fry Guarantee. It began today, Wednesday, where a customer, if they think that their fries are cold or soggy or what have you, can exchange their purchased fries for hotter and crispier versions with, quote, no questions asked, end quote. So Kurt Kane, the U.S. President and Chief Commercial Officer, told Yahoo Finance, quote, if a customer gets an order of fries and they don't think they're hot and crispy enough, or they're not satisfied with those, they should hand them back to us, and we should be happy to give them a brand new fry in exchange. We're confident that it's very consistent with who we are as Wendy's and what customers should expect. End quote. So, Doc, does this change your power rankings at all with Wendy's coming in crispy fries?
I mean, it definitely creeps them up the list, that's for sure, if we're going to top 10 here. Do they crack a top 3 like we just talked about? I don't think so. The dismissal of the pretzel burger, big time no. That took them like 10 spots down, let's be honest. That pretzel bun burger was awesome.
Big pretzel burger guy?
Oh, yeah. Pretzel bun gets a little bit different texture. It's kind of burnt, but not too burnt. It's real nice. Put a little beer cheese on that. Oh, baby, take me home.
I know that you legally have to do this, that you have to put like the caloric intake of certain things from your menu. I think that you should have certain things on your menu that you do not have to do that for. And one of those things was the Wendy's Baconator. I remember finding out how many calories are on a Baconator, and I just thought, if you're ordering a Baconator, you're not exactly health conscious to begin with.
No.
There's no, do you have a light Baconator? I'm not that hungry right now, so I'll just have the Baconator. No, if you're ordering anything called the Baconator, before even looking into what's into it, you can assume, like, it's not a terribly ambiguous name. It's not going to be great for you. And if you're already going down that road, I doubt you look at a Baconator's calorie content and go, oh, I guess I'm not going to get it now. No, you're going to get the shit out of that Baconator.
I've already had 1,500 calories today. I better watch my intake. Am I right?
Yeah. It's like, Baconator's like 11,000 calories. It's just, oh, yeah, let me see if I have enough points with my Weight Watchers for a Baconator. Excuse me, Weight Watchers. How many points is a Baconator?
That's a month right there, bud.
You're just gonna have to fast immediately after that.
These fries have new batter though that I found very interesting in the article. So there's a new batter that makes them crispier and hold their hotness longer. I don't know how that's a thing.
Oh, so they're stacking the deck.
They're stacking the deck. And then the third thing on top of it is they will also let you return your fries for not being as crispy on to-go orders, not drive-through, delivery. We're talking Grubhub, we're talking Postmates, whatever you use, DoorDash, Uber Eats.
Time?
Well, that's where I thought was like, man, they're gonna lose their shirt off of this if somebody just starts complaining about not hot fries. But then I complained once about not getting a side of wontons from a Chinese restaurant through the Uber Eats app. It took like a half hour. I was like, I'm never doing this again. Just take my money. I don't care. It was like take pictures and all this stuff. I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, from some of the Wendy's employees I've encountered over the years, I don't feel confident with returning fries. I'm not bashful in things. Obviously, hosts a podcast with the Dockinator, but I just can't imagine myself dining in at a Wendy's and going, "Hey, I hate to be this guy, but these fries are not to my liking." Because also, if I was working at the Wendy's, I'd be like, they're not to your liking, then maybe don't come to Wendy's. If you're gonna thumb your nose up at food and its quality, don't go to a Wendy's. I mean, this is a boomer thing. I don't think that this is gonna be a millennial thing to give back. I could see boomers being like, hey, per your policy, I would like to exchange these soggy fries. I mean, because boomers will go to a Chili's and then be like, I haven't seen my waiter in 5 minutes. This is unbelievable. It's like, you're at a Chili's. Know what you're getting yourself into, okay? If you're at a place with Chop House in the name, yeah, expect something from your waiter. But you're at a Chili's. And so if I go to Wendy's and I see soggy fries, I'm like, yeah, I kind of knew that this would happen. Like, this comes with the territory of Wendy's. I'm not going to go back and say this isn't up to par with what I expect from my Wendy's French fries. Did you imagine Waffle House had such a policy?
Yeah, what was that?
Imagine if Waffle House had this policy. Anything. Could you imagine?
Catch a 2-piece of a biscuit real quick from that cook. Not talking in order.
Imagine you're in Birmingham at a Waffle House at 2 a.m. and you just go, "Excuse me, this covered and smothered is not up to par for me. It is not nearly smothered enough. Please give me something else."
This isn't an indictment on you, but I imagine you walking up to the counter and be like, my fries, they're not that crispy. And they get on the loud phone, they're like, this boomer wants his fries crispier. And it's like a Super Trooper situation. Yeah. It's for a boomer. Or are you spitting it?
Imagine you're that fry cook back there, and you're like, he said what? Oh, his fries aren't crispy enough. Okay, I'll get that son of a bitch some crispy fries. Yeah. Oh, they'll be real crispy. Oh, they'll be crispy. Like, yeah, I don't like where that's going at all.
No. It's for a boomer.
Yeah, we got this for a boomer. His fries aren't up to standard. I also get a baked potato from Wendy's as my side because I like to watch the world burn, I guess.
I used to get chili until that story came out when I was probably like in middle school or maybe early high school. You had a thumb. You had the thumb in the chili.
Yeah, that can't be real though, right? Like, how does that happen?
That's like we talked about last episode or the episode before, razor blades in the candy on Halloween. That just doesn't happen. It's a fake story. THC, maybe. Never know.
Parents, check your Wendy's for weed in the chili. Wendy is gonna sue my ass. All right.
Bring it on. Cease and desist, bruh.
Yeah, I keep telling Doc. Doc's like, hey, we got to be careful about the music. We don't have rights for this, so I just got to play this music. I was like, hey, Doc, just play Duran Duran. And if Duran Duran comes at our ass with a cease and desist, I'm fucking framing it. All right, Keepasabi? Is this not true?
No, it's absolutely true. So Duran Duran, check yourself, son, before you wreck yourself.
I just keep trying to get everyone in trouble wherever I can. Doc's just being like really conscious and by the book and everything. Just like, hey, we can't do this. We're gonna get sued. And then, oh really? Tell Ricky Martin to fucking find me. How about that?
We'll put him through so much litigation, he'll have paperwork through the roof.
You want to live La Vida Loca? Come find me, pal. I'll live real loca.
No extradition to Spain or wherever you're from, buddy.
Like, really? Yeah, come get me, Chumbawamba. I don't give a shit. We're gonna use your song, okay? Yeah. Oh no, Blue Oyster Cult's gonna get us.
They might. They try to get a couple of people. Gotta watch out.
Oh no. We played Breakfast at Tiffany's. Look out for the cease and desist from Deep Blue something.
Shaggy's really coming after us next week, let me tell you.
Oh no, Rich Boy is gonna come get us. Woo!
Pretty Ricky's never had his content stolen before. Or Ray J. Sorry, Ray J. If
we record, I thought Pretty Ricky was funny. If we record one single episode in the state of North Carolina, and you don't play P.D. Pablo to open up the show's done.
Yeah, no,
it's gonna be like in Semi-Pro when Will Ferrell says, "All right, Tropics, off the floor." That's gonna be me. I'm gonna say, "All right, SJB Atlanta, off the podcast."
Can we even like get in trouble for stealing like dead people's music? Are the Allman Brothers all gone? Like, should we just throw Allman Brothers on this every week?
Are all the Allman Brothers dead?
I don't know.
I don't know if you just recklessly killed off the Allman Brothers.
Yeah,
I think they may be more mad about that. They're probably just like touring and like, man, these assholes in our home state on this podcast just killed us.
We'll get the interns on it. I feel like I haven't heard of an Allman Brothers band show in a long time. I'd probably be there if there was one.
All right. We should get going. All right. Thanks as always for listening, subscribing, rating, reviewing. Appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Don't forget to check us out, sjbatlanta.com. Hopefully have some more written content coming up soon. Hope you enjoyed the new piece that we had up over the weekend from our new writer from Alabama, Wardan. You can also check us out on Instagram at Spaghetti Junction Boys. Check out our Twitter at SJB Atlanta. Like I said, thanks as always for listening. Doc, any closing words? Anything you want to let the people know? Any more Midwest buzzwords before we go?
Yeah, check out my Big 12 power rankings at SJB Doc. They really put in a good word. Very, very intelligent power rankings.
I hope you keep coming back to this, but like really irregularly. Like this, it's not really on a Monday thing. It's just you just drunk as shit on a Friday. It's just like Big 12 power rankings.
Next one I do is in the spring.
Yeah, like, why does this have Indiana in it? It's like, oh, sorry, I was really into bourbon when I got to these rankings.
Kentucky? Oh, yeah, it was all the bourbon. There's
Doc, there's 15 teams in your Big 12 power rankings.
They're trying to catch all this smoke.
We'll see you next week.